Those mob fools want you gone so they can get back to the way things were. But I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things. Forever.
You are now tuned in to the multi-nominated, award-winning Game Spitting Chronicles podcast, hosted by the homie Cuzzo. You BZ? It's the Chronicles podcast. 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 It's the Chronicles podcast.
What up, y'all? This is your boy Cuzzo, and we are in the building for a breaking news episode. This is a breaking news episode. There has been an assassination attempt on Trump today at a campaign rally. I can't even believe I'm reporting on this. This is a topic today. I mean, I've covered this in previous episodes that the options were getting slim, but to actually see it, when you see it, you kind of are in disbelief. But let's take a listen to the audio that happened. I'm going to play some audio and some interviews and everything. This is kind of a one-off episode today. Jumped on it, saw the news, saw people jumping on it. So I said, you know what? We got to do the content. Even when you're not ready, you got to be ready. So let's check out some of the footage, or I should say the audio in this case, since this is an audio episode. I was going to go live and stream, but I said, no, let's just keep it audio. So let's go. Here we go.
We see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move.
Go. Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Move it to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Shooter's down. Shooter's down.
Are we good?
Shooter's down.
Shooter's down. Are we good to move?
Shooter's down. We're good to move.
We're clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head, it's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. Get the shoes.
Watch out.
Wait.
Now the audio's a little bit muffled towards the end. After the action and everything started happening, the audio got a little muffled. But here's the statement that he said on his social media. He said, "I want to thank the United States Secret Service and all of law enforcement for their rapid response on the shooting that took place in Butler, Pennsylvania. Most importantly, I want to extend my condolences to the family of the person at the rally who was killed, and also to the family member of another person that was badly injured. It is incredible that such an act can take place in our country. Nothing is known at this time about the shooter. That's been updated. Who is now dead. I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through my skin. Much bleeding took place, so I realized then what was happening. God bless America. We want to say well wishes to Trump and say we hope that he's okay and everything's good. Now, in response to that, of course, we had Biden come out and address and make a statement, and let's hear what he had to say.
Thoroughly briefed by all the agencies in the federal government as to the situation, based on what we know now. I have tried to get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. Apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly, I hope, when I get back to the telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. It's one of the reasons why we have to unite this country. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And I want to thank the Secret Service and all the agencies, including the state agencies, that have been engaged in making sure that the people and we have more detail to come relative to other people maybe injured in the audience. I don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to come back a little later tonight, but we'll put out a statement if I'm not able to if it's not convenient for you all. But the bottom line is that the Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. And everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I am able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well. But so far, it appears he's doing well, number one. Number two, that they're thoroughly investigating what happened to anyone else in the audience. We have some reports, but not final reports. And every agency in the federal government, I'm going back to my phone to speak with the federal agencies that are being put together again to give me an updated briefing. Has anything happened? They learned any more in the last couple hours. So thank you very much, and I hope I get to speak to them tonight, and I'll get back to you if I do, okay?
Mr. President, do you think it was an assassination attempt?
I don't know enough I have an opinion, but I don't have any facts. So I want to make sure we have all the facts before I make any more comments. Thank you.
And we have to be honest with ourselves. That is an assassination attempt. You know, by definition, an assassination attempt would be on a public figure. Murder or sudden attempted attack on a public figure. That's what it is. You can sit up here and try to shy away from using that terminology, but that is what it is. And we got more audio. We're going to go through some audio of people that were there. So we're definitely going to be checking that out. So let's hear what someone who was on site, an emergency room doctor, talks about trying to save an innocent man who was shot in the head at the rally.
That's exactly where I heard him come from.
What did you see, sir?
I heard the shots. I thought it was firecrackers to begin with. Somebody over there was screaming, he's been shot, he's been shot. So I made my way over. I said, I'm an emergency department physician. Let me help you. The guy had spun around, was jammed between the benches. He had a headshot here. There was lots of blood, and he had brain matter there. And so I got him. There's a helicopter coming in to get him. I got people there really helpful. I got
Was
him
there only
up
one
on the
person
bench.
shot that you saw?
Then I did CPR, did chest compressions as well as I breathed for him.
One person.
I was the only one that did it.
We need to evacuate.
We want to appreciate that man for trying to do what he tried to do to save somebody. we definitely have to give it up for that. You know, let's hear from some more victims that were there on site.
As we just learned, Joseph, you weren't listening to the program here, but Lester Holt, NBC News, just reporting that one of the attendees has deceased, has died from injuries as a result of the shooting. Joseph, you told me off camera that you may have witnessed this, and I'm so sorry to be talking to you in this tragic moment, but can you describe what it is that you saw?
I was attending the rally. I was in the set of bleachers, the very far left of the podium where President Trump was speaking. I was there with friends. I heard several gunshots. The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head, was instantly killed, fell to the bottom of the bleachers. Another woman looked like she got hit in the forearm or hand. And then at that point in time, it was rather chaotic at that point because half the people were looking because they thought it was fireworks. I knew it was gunshots right away. My friend, he hit the deck. I was kind of looking around just trying to see where the shots were coming from. It seemed to me like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind. He was killed instantly, as far as I could tell. And at that point, a state police and a SWAT team, started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind the bleachers.
You helped carry the man yourself. What was his condition when you were carrying him?
He's deceased. He died.
How close were you to him?
A couple yards. It wasn't very far.
Did you know the man?
No, it's a police ranger. They put a towel over his head and then carried him off.
And you said there was another woman nearby who was also injured. Where was she in relation to him?
I believe she was in the bleachers, either above me or just to the side of him. But it seemed like she was kind of at my flank, and then she flinched, and it looked like she had taken a gunshot wound to the forearm and hand.
Joseph, from where I was standing, we heard multiple gunshots, 8 to 11 shots. We've been hearing it replayed on the video here. Do you remember, can you tell, I know it was a chaotic scene, but at what point, was it immediately when you heard the gunshots that he was shot, or was it later on into the firing?
The first 7, he was hit and she was hit within the first 7 shots. I counted 7 shots.
What was going through your mind? You were right there. I know it happened so quickly, but what can you tell us about those moments?
First, I was in shock because I know what gunshots sound like, so I knew they were gunshots. I couldn't tell from where they were coming from. And when I noticed someone got hit, then I noticed, it seemed like they were coming from behind me. And it just was pandemonium. And then I heard some more shots, and I couldn't quite tell where they were coming from. But I counted the first 7, and they were very loud and very close. And it killed one man and wounded another woman.
And Joseph, you told me that you're a doctor, you're an OBGYN. How did that background play into how quickly you were sort of able to assess the situation and know what happened to these individuals and know what was going on?
Well, I told the police, I tried to render assistance. I told the police I could render assistance. They had another physician on the EMT team, so they kind of took over. So they didn't really need me, so I kind of helped carry them down initially out of the bleachers. There wasn't, the man that got hit, there was no assistance that needed to be given, and unfortunately his family witnessed the whole thing. It seemed like he had several family members in the bleacher with him, and they were quite upset. They didn't know, they were in shock. They didn't quite know what's going on, but the man was definitely killed instantaneously.
Could you tell us sort of how many family members or people who knew him were with him, and what was their reaction?
I thought there was 5 people. 2 of them were relatively hysterical. So, but they were, when we took the man out of the bleachers, he went to the tent. There was an aid tent or some type of tent behind the bleachers where they took the body, and they immediately evacuated the family with them. And the 2 out of the 5, it seemed, in shock, hysterical. They were still trying to process what was going on.
Joseph, from where I was standing, we heard the shots. We saw the president go down.
Yeah, I saw President Trump get hit.
What can you tell us? What details you remember?
It seemed like his head was off to the side, and it seemed like he got nicked in the ear.
Was that before the Secret Service took him down to the ground, covered him?
Right before the Secret Service. It was maybe, again, it's hard to tell, time dilates when it seemed like it was a second or 2. That first 7 shots that went off, the man got hit. He was killed almost instantly. The woman in the bleachers, she got injured, she got hit in the forearm and the hand. And then in those rounds that were fired, again, I was videoing the event, so that's when I saw Trump get hit. And it seemed to me like he was looking to the side and the round grazed his ear. So.
Could you tell the gentleman that was hit in the head what angle he was in relation to the former president, like which direction the bullets were coming from and to?
So it looked like he was facing the president at the very far left portion of the bleachers. So he's directly facing it. Again, it seemed to me like the shots were coming from the rear, like behind us. And for me, it seemed like the man was in the way. Like, I guess.
In the way of the former president?
No, it seemed like the man was in the way of the shots between whoever was shooting the gun and the president. The man was hit. It seemed like he was in the crossfire.
That's crazy. That's totally crazy. And then here we have an eyewitness who says he saw the suspect climb on top of a nearby structure. And he's also calling into question the Secret Service.
Someone who was here. You weren't inside the event, nope, but you were just outside. Tell us what you saw.
So we had a party here all day. You can see behind us at the Brinkles Farm and Greenhouse here. We had a party, and we all decided, hey, when we hear Trump up there, we're going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees up there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up. And probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking, I'm estimating here, I have no idea, but we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, and, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle. We could clearly see him with a rifle, absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Could they see
binoculars?
Could they see him?
Probably not, because the roof, the way the slope went, he was behind where they could see. But why is there not Secret Service on all of these roofs here? This is not a big place.
Did you see, obviously everyone, when the shooting started, everyone was very panicked. Did you see what happened to him at all?
Oh yeah, they blew his head off.
Okay, sorry.
Secret Service blew his head off.
Okay, just be careful because we don't quite know who's watching, but you're pretty sure they shot the guy?
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay.
Yep.
You saw that happen?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you see them go up to him afterwards, or?
They crawled up on the roof. They had their guns pointed at him, make sure he was dead. He was dead, and that was it. It was over.
It's incredibly shocking.
The guy was on the roof right there. You can see the white roof right there.
Did you get a look at him? Could you?
No, other than he was in muted colors, tan type clothing. We saw the rifle flinging around as he was trying to crawl. We saw the rifle, 100%.
Do you know about guns? Do you know what kind of weapon it was?
Oh, I absolutely know about guns, for sure. It was a rifle of some sort. I wouldn't know, I wasn't close enough to read the label on it,
sure. But
it was a rifle of some sort. Yeah, absolutely.
So how do you process what you've just seen?
I don't know what to say, man. All I'll tell you is, if I walked up close to there with anything that Secret Service considered a problem, I wouldn't be standing here talking to you right now. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof.
Were you outside the security perimeter?
Yes, right there by that tree. We were outside the security perimeter. But My question is, there's only a few buildings around here. Why is Secret Service not at every building here?
Well, there's a whole bunch of questions I think that are going to come.
There's a whole bunch of questions.
Yeah.
Trump flag on the horse.
Yes, she was right in front of me. She kept going back and forth right in front of me. Yes.
Tell us about her.
I mean, nice horse, nice lady running with a flag. Seemed very, patriotic.
But what's the significance of her?
No, he asked me if I saw a horse.
Okay. All right, well, listen, I'm sorry you had to witness that. That was a terrible thing. And you should stay safe with your family and look after yourself. Thanks for your time.
Good witness statement. Now, Republicans in Congress have already begun a probing into the security failures that led to the assassination attempt today. So they're already getting the gears turning as far as trying to find out what exactly happened. Now, the shooter has been identified. Matthew Crooks is ID'd as the shooter. There's, of course, pictures and everything circulating online. So we're going to be finding out more information about this. Now, this is the time that we have the conversation. Are you ready for it? Let's do it. Hopefully I can talk to OG Frank, who can give some better clarification. Hopefully on the next live with me and Twan, if I can get a hold of OG Frank, I'm pretty sure he's got stuff going on right now since this is a big day. I saw he was on social media earlier, but I didn't want to bother him. But I do have questions about the security. If what this gentleman says is true, how secure is secure? Now, there was apparently some policymakers were talking about taking Secret Service protection away from Trump amid his trial and cases and everything. There was a rumor, let me see, since I'm doing this in live time, since we're having this conversation in live time. Let's see. Where is it at? Because there was a gentleman who had reported something very interesting. Where'd he go? This is from Sean Davis on social media, and he's a CEO and co-founder of The Federalist. A source familiar with Trump's security detail tells The Federalist that the former and future president's detail has been asking for beefed up protection and resources for weeks, but has been rebuffed time and time again by Biden's Department of Homeland Security. DHS, which oversees the Secret Service protective detail, wasn't responsive to those requests for more resources, the source said. That begs more questions. Now, Robert Kennedy, running for president as well, has also made requests for security. So, I remember him being on television and they asked him about security, and he made the request because he had some incidents as well. If you're running for the highest office in the land, you should be granted security if you are an official candidate. I don't know. I want to understand it, but I don't understand it. Now, Trump, love him or hate him, when he sat up here and got back to his feet and got a shoe on, he sat up here and got the crowd hype. I mean, that's what people are wanting to see in a person that's going to lead the country. This is making Biden look even worse. no matter how you feel about Trump, I mean, that's the qualities people want to see. And the person that tried to take this shot, you missed and you paid the consequences. Folks, this is an election year. We are in the swing of it. I posted earlier on my social media, you know, I wanted to be genuine. I wanted to be realistic with what I said. And what I said was, let me go to it. I said, as I've been saying, Kendrick versus Drake is over. The Not Like Us video is old news. Eminem's album is not relevant now. The conversation is, in all caps, the election. This is it. This is the conversation. This is the conversation. This is what is important now. Not Eminem's album that was so-so anyway that dropped yesterday. That's not the conversation. The election's the conversation. Now, if you think that this gunman was just a lone wolf, I don't know. We're going to see more that comes out, but a lot of people do not want Trump to be back in office. We have to be realistic. They don't want him back. Let's face it. They tried to charge him and they thought that would work. They tried to remove him from the ballot. That didn't work. They thought they could beat him in a debate with CNN hosting and CNN rules, muted mics and everything. That didn't work. How desperate do you think some of these people are that they don't want Trump back in office? That's a serious question I have to ask. That's a serious question I'm thinking. How far are some people willing to go to keep power on both sides, not just one side, on both sides? This is a power struggle. When you think of shows like House of Cards and everything, it was all about a power struggle. Fantastic show, House of Cards, by the way. Got to give it up for that. The last season was trash because Kevin Spacey was, of course, going through his troubles. But the first couple of seasons, masterpiece, masterclass in storytelling, masterclass in acting. Do I think this is guaranteed Trump the win? I don't know. I'm still not going to make an official prediction, but some people say this would make Trump automatically win the election. Some people I've seen online saying Trump's going to win in a landslide. I've got to be honest with you guys. I'm not trying to sound fucked up, but at this point, Trump's got to stay alive to make it to the election to be elected. Some people do not want to see this man president. Once again, it's something that you're going to have to sit up here and face and accept. I don't want to bullshit you guys as the listener and tell you that, he's going to win and everything's hunky-dory. I'll tell you something else too. While I'm going to research it, but I think personally, Trump shouldn't announce a VP this week. That's my honest opinion. let's see, does a VP have to be announced at the RNC? I don't know. I personally, if I was Trump, I wouldn't announce my VP this week. When something like this happens, I think it makes you totally change gears. So, there's no telling. I saw an article a couple days ago, new RNC amendment could lead Trump to announce VP last minute. A proposed amendment to the Republican National Convention rules could allow presumptive GOP nominee Trump to wait until the last minute before announcing his VP. The amended rule book, viewed by the Post, deletes the former rule requiring a set number of delegates to declare their support for the presumptive nominee and VP pick, not later than an hour to placing the names up for nomination. The new rule now allows the delegates to submit the names prior, meaning Trump could leave Republicans in suspense until the final moments. He's made conflicting remarks on when he'll announce his running mate, saying it could be July 15th through 17th or before. Probably a little bit before the convention, but not much Trump announced. I think he should totally change it up. I think when something like this happens to you, I think you need to look at who is around you and who is beneficial to you and who's really going to have your back in this journey you're taking. I mean, some of these candidates are good politically, but they might not necessarily have the stomach for this after what happened today. I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. If I was Trump, I wouldn't trust any of them at this point. Tulsi, I said on the last episode I recorded yesterday, Tulsi should be the candidate, but I can't even say that. I wouldn't expect him to trust Tulsi. I'll tell you what I would do, honestly, if I was Trump. I'd pick a family member as a running mate. I'd pick my son, Don Jr. I'd pick Ivanka. I'd pick one of them as my VP. Just keep it a buck. I wouldn't trust anybody but my inner circle, my family. That's the feeling you get when you got that they just tried to get me the fuck up out of here energy. Oh yeah. Yeah. Facts. Y'all just tried to pack me out. I don't trust any of you motherfuckers. Everything's bulletproof from here on out. The whips, I'm like Saddam Hussein. Remember, there was reports of Saddam Hussein having bulletproof hats, bulletproof ties. I'm rocking all that shit. That's how I'm getting down. That's how I'm giving it up if I'm Trump from now on. Definitely. So yeah, I don't know. Where we go from here. Folks, like I said, everything's changed now. I said that at the beginning, that famous conversation that the Joker had with Batman in The Dark Knight. This changes things. The trial changes things. This assassination attempt today changes things. I'm very interested in learning more information about, was this a lone wolf operation, or was this a collusion of sorts, or what exactly happened? there are a lot of questions. How did this gunman, if that witness statement is correct, how did this gunman get access like that? And if there were witnesses that saw him getting up here, how come they didn't act? Why didn't they act? And even in the video, when the gunshot started, it kind of seemed like it took a minute for Secret Service officers to get to Trump. That's just from what I'm seeing on the video. If you watch the video closely, it seems like it took them a hot minute. I would think that agents would be diving left and right to get up there. That's why I'd like to talk to OG Frank. Shouts to OG Frank, my brother, man. So I'm interested in learning what's going on. But the game's changed. It's going to be interesting to see how the media talks about this, because yes, whether or not you want to acknowledge it, this was an assassination attempt. It's cut and dry. It is cut and fucking dry. Crazy. I don't know. What is America thinking? What are you guys thinking? How do you guys feel about this? Do you guys feel like this was some funny business going on? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm interested in seeing how this develops, how Trump handles this, how his family is going to handle this. The media. Because you have to remember, a lot of people have on both sides, there was a lot of rhetoric that went on. I can definitely acknowledge that. I hear Charlemagne the God. I heard him as early as Friday when I was in the gym. I was listening to a podcast with him. Charlemagne the God himself, just to use an example. Sorry, Charlemagne, I got to give you that work. I got to give you that work. You got to get it. Sorry. You call Trump in all your interviews, you keep saying Trump is a threat to democracy. That's what you've been saying. You think he's a threat to our democracy. And a lot of people have been using that same thing. Well, what do we think is a threat? By definition, a threat is a statement of an intention to inflict pain, injury, damage, or other hostile action on someone in retribution for something done or not done. He's a threat to democracy, Charlemagne? These people have been saying that. The Bill Maher's, the everybody who have been putting out all this rhetoric. On the right side, too. There's people who've been putting out rhetoric. The shit has to stop. I saw a video of a girl on TikTok complaining that she was upset that they missed hitting Trump. What kind of shit is that? I don't support that. I don't condone that. And neither should you. I'm not going to sit up here and like Jay Prince says, I'm not going to get in the pig pen with you and get dirty and start slinging mud. That's not how we rockin'. That's not. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes. I want to see where we go from here because this is history that has been made today. Now, Trump being able to sit up here and just get grazed by a bullet, that's something. I don't know what you call that. What do you call that? I don't know if you call that, if you're a believer, I don't know if you call that an act of God. I don't know if you call that luck, the universe talking. I don't know what you call it. But we will be following this. This was a special breaking news episode 316. I didn't expect to be recording. I just got through barbecuing. I was relaxing, enjoying myself. Had a few more tasks to do. But that's where we're at. So if anything else breaks, I'll definitely jump on again and do another breaking news episode. If there's any more, I know they had the press conference. The press conference didn't really tell us anything. No new news was really broken. I just got the name and gave you guys the name of the individual. I don't want to continue to promote a killer's name. That's not how we rock either, you know? So we'll have to see. But during the press conference, police said that they were looking for several suspicious activities before Trump was shot. So I don't know if there were distractions going on in order for this shooting to take place. Maybe there were distractions planted. More than one person was behind this, but here's what he had to say.
Reports that there were people who saw someone on the roof and tried to alert authorities.
We're following up on those. I will tell you that I am aware of those, and I am aware that law enforcement had responded to a number of reports of suspicious activity. The specific response to this will be all part of the after action, but yes, law enforcement was responding to check on several suspicious occurrences.
So my name is Kevin Rojek.
So, yeah, that's what we have to look at. It's still an active crime scene. We have to go on the news that's going to be coming forward. So I'll definitely be reporting on the next episode, any updates, anything like that. But this was a breaking news segment. I was glad to jump on here and talk to you guys because I know a lot of you guys are like, damn, I got to wait till next week to hear from, Cuzzo about what happened. Nah, baby, I got you. I got you. Cuzzo's here to do it for you. You know why?
See, I'm about done hiding. I'm
about done being humble. I'm about done apologizing for the fact that I'm the goddamn best.
That's why. There's no need to pretend and hide it. Baby, I'm the best. You know what it is. You know you get the shit from the Cuzzo and the Chronicles, man. And I've already hollered at Twan, so salute to needleandthreadsco.com. That's NEEDLENTHREADSCO, needleandthreadsco.com. He's working on them new Trump shirts. He told me, man, he's working on them. I already got you 2 sold, man. So Twan's working on the shirts already, man. So you know what it is. Remember Chronicles, get an extra 15% off your order at checkout. You know what it is, man. I appreciate you guys for checking out this breaking news episode. Remember, this is a day after I released episode 315. So episode 315 is still out there. This is episode 316. So you get 2 back to back. So make sure you go check them out. You dig? That's what it is.
Yeah, 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 yeah.